to another episode of the Little Radio Show. My name is Sandra Fernandez, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Juan Alanis and Anjelica Cazares, and we're bringing you small talk about big topics. This week we talk about the Steve Harvey Miss Universe fiasco that will make history books. Steve Harvey mistakenly called the wrong contestant as the winner of Miss Universe, leading to Miss Colombia being crowned instead of Miss Philippines. Then they had to correct it, live on television. It's New Year's Eve, and we take the opportunity to look back at our accomplishments for the year, talk about our goals for 2016, and why we do, or don't, set resolutions every year. Just a reminder, you can catch us every week on Thursdays at 2 p.m. Central Time on hmsnetradio.org. Our show archives and the link to our iTunes and Stitcher channels are available at thelittlерadioshow.com.
And this week's, in case you missed it, Miss Universe 2015. Oh my God. So this is the mistake heard around the world that
over and over
that has been talked about
but
numerous times. So here is, if you are living under a rock, let me just give you the rundown of what's happening. Miss Universe 2015 took place in Hollywood, and Steve Harvey announced the winner as, well, Miss Universe Colombia as the winner, and it turns out he made a mistake, and it was Miss Philippines.
Which the year before, Miss Colombia had been the winner, so it was like Colombia 2 years in a row. So there was
amplified celebration. People were just going wild. Twitter was like on fire, and all of a sudden he announces he made a mistake 2 minutes and so into the actual. She had been crowned.
Both Miss Colombias were like gleeful. They had hugged. They were like celebrating.
She
was waving at the people in the audience, and
they had just crowned Miss Colombia as Miss Universe.
God,
so she's
kidding.
sitting in front of the audience and she's waving. She has her flag and she's just going at it with her. And all of a sudden you see Steve Harvey come back where she's standing like in her spotlight and addresses, "I've made a mistake." And the auditoriums go silent.
But at first nobody really reacted. Everybody was kind of like, what? And so she kept waving and she kept like smiling. She didn't know what was going on.
I remember very vividly hearing, like, you can hear the gasp in the room. I mean, we were watching it on TV, but you can hear, what? So,
but she didn't.
He announces,
she was like waving.
No, she was waving. And all of a sudden he says, "I made a mistake." And there was an uproar in the auditorium. I mean, we were watching it from at home. We were on sofas, and I kept tapping Juan on the shoulder. I was like, "Oh my God, Juan." And I'm like, I can't believe that happened. And then you realize what's happening.
Miss Philippines had already gone back, and she was already standing with the rest of the contestants. And then Miss America, Miss USA turned to her and was like,
It's you. You won. And you can see her hand shaking. Miss Philippines.
She was so confused. Like, what's going on?
You can see her hand shaking. You can see like she's in disbelief. Miss Colombia is like just in shock. Her face looks like it's turned red. She doesn't know what to do.
I wouldn't have known what to do.
And you feel the sense of like, oh my God, what did they do to these girls?
And it was
Miss
like
Colombia embarrassed. Miss Philippine obviously embarrassed for her because she's looking at, at least I think so, looking at her like, I'm like feeling sorry at this point, and nobody knows what to do.
There was like a 1 minute thing where they had to wait. Like they both were standing next to each other. Miss Colombia still had the crown on, and she had her flowers, and they had to wait for the past winner to come back to the stage.
Yes.
And they take off the crown of one and put it on the other one,
and take off the sash.
Roses, just so embarrassing.
So here we are. Like, and it was an entire about 4 minutes of awkward.
But the other thing that happened is that people started booing Miss Philippines as she was walking to the center stage.
Well, it wasn't her fault.
And then Steve Harvey was like, it wasn't her fault. Look, it's right here on this document. It says
on the paper,
on this card.
So he turned it around and he showed that the winner was there. But then he went on Twitter. and tried to apologize, and then all kinds of grammar, and then misspelled all kinds of word like
he said Philippians and Colombia.
And Colombia with a U. Yeah, it was tragic. It was quite. But how do you react from that? How do you come back from that? And what did you see? What was your reaction?
I was kind of like. Really, like, I just couldn't believe that Steve Harvey made such a big mistake.
I mean, let's be honest.
Really, like,
can you expect that from Steve Harvey?
I don't know if you can or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing is that it was such an awkward situation, and like it just was bad all around, and it was like really like to me what really was the most lamentable was the fact that Steve Harvey made that freaking mistake. I'm like, really? Like I would have just been pissed off at Steve Harvey because I'm like, you can't be. You're supposed to be a professional. You can't just read the wrong name.
We are humans. The way perhaps why did he take 2 minutes and so on to recognize his mistake after she would just.
Well, it was a live show. It seems like he went backstage and somebody was like, "You have to fix this." And
she bawled about being like feliz, like happy about winning. 2 minutes and something had passed by. It wasn't like immediate thing where he was like, where she was coming up to get her crown and he was like, "Oh, I made a mistake. I'm so sorry." No, she stood there in victory. I don't think he
realized the mistake that he made. I don't think he realized until somebody told him. And that is the problem.
I would really love a play-by-play of the back. I mean, what happened from when he made the announcement to when he came back and goes, "I'm sorry, I made a mistake."
I mean, but you should have seen the look in his face when he came back on stage. He was just kind of like, he had that look on his face like, I have to do this, but I just don't know how I'm going to do it, and the words are just going to come out because that's what's going to have to happen.
Taking the attention off of Steve Harvey, because I don't want to give him too much. I want to focus on the ladies, and I think this is where the focus should be. But Miss Colombia, they did an interview with her backstage, and they asked her, "How do you feel? How do you feel?" Everybody wants to know her reaction. And her reaction, her answer was, I believe what I took from it was, she said, "I'm okay. Everything happens for a reason. I'm not sure what it is, but everything happens for a reason." And she went on and she said, "Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody who voted. Thank you for like your concerns." And somebody said, "Go Colombia." And, they walked her off stage. She said, "Thank you." And she kept moving. And, that's basically what happened. And I think that's the way we should all see it.
Hopefully something good comes out of this for Miss Colombia. And you'll see her somewhere doing some other stuff, modeling or something, that somebody kind of sympathizes with her.
At this point, I think they should have given the crown to both of them. But nonetheless, and that is what happened in this week's Just in Case You Missed It.
If you're just tuning in, this is the Little Radio Show on hmsnetradio.org. Happy New Year! Or rather, Happy New Year's Eve. It's December the 31st, and it is the last day of 2015.
Can you believe it? Oh my God.
Which means it's the last episode for the year of 2015, of course.
But I can't believe how fast the year goes by. Like, it seems like it was only like yesterday that we were like, it's 2015, and now we're like 2016.
I don't know. I looked up, and it's one of those things where I looked up and I told my mom, I feel really old because I remember when I was a kid and I would hear the adults go, "Oh, time passes so fast," and I'd be like, "What are they talking about?" Yeah. Time is time. And now that I'm an old person, yes, no. It's time does pass very, very fast.
I remember there was a time when I was like, I can't wait till I'm 18. I can't wait till I'm 21. I can't wait till, and then I was like, I don't want to be 32. I don't want to be 33. And it's just,
I don't want to be 36. And I'm 37.
Oh, no, sweetie. I have the annual anniversary of my 29th birthday.
There you go.
I don't have birthdays anymore. I have anniversaries of birthday.
But it's always so like it really, for me, it was like right after 30, you just started like all the years started like going by really fast. And it's like each year goes by faster, it seems.
I thought by this point, I was going to accomplish a lot more during 2015. And I feel like I fell short. And it always feels like that every year.
You started a radio show, one. You started your Crafty Thrifter blog, or you improved upon it.
Yes. It doesn't seem like so, because the year I don't know. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you expect to be a millionaire by 10 p.m. Right, I think that's just, I don't know.
But I think we're our own worst critics, so we always are the hardest on ourselves.
Yeah, I know. Like you, Sandra, I'm like, oh my God, she did like so much this year.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I accomplished that much.
You really did have a good, like a very, very, very busy year, because you've been doing so much. You've been building your own company. You've been like doing all of this stuff that's very groundbreaking work.
Well, thank you. I feel like this has been milestone year for me. It didn't start out as, it's one of those things where I didn't really start out thinking that I was going to accomplish all this year, and then I just sort of took a huge leap, and then I took another huge leap, and it's been one leap after another. So it's been very, very, very interesting. So sounds like we've already gotten into the reflections upon the year path kind of thing. I really would like to talk about a little bit about 2015, and one of the things that I can look back in 2015 is that the things that I accomplished were in no way what I expected to accomplish, because I took a completely different path than what I intended to do. But one of the great things about this year is that I've been able to really, really see who my supporters are, who I can count on when the chips are down. Sorry for the cliche, but who is going to prop me up and kick me in the butt when I need it, and sit there and listen to me and go, okay, Sandra, and call me on my bullshit when I need it too.
And by the same token, the people who aren't going to be there and who aren't as supportive as you might have thought.
One of the great things that I can say about this year, and especially about this entire experience, is I have a lot of really, really great friends, and I'm so thankful for that.
Well, I think you've answered the question that I was going to ask you, and I was going to ask you, was the leap of faith worth it? And I think from what I'm hearing, that it was absolutely worth it.
Well, I'm not broke yet.
Is that the marking points?
No. What? Someone told me something earlier this year, and as and I kept saying, oh, well, the worst case scenario is next year I'll go find a job. And she goes, why do you keep saying that? It sounds like you're already planning to fail.
Right.
It's like, no, don't. There is no worst case scenario. You're just going to succeed. You're going to do it until...
Don't even make it an option.
Don't even make it an option. And once I thought that way, once I stopped thinking about it, it wasn't as daunting, quite honestly.
Mm-hmm. You gave yourself a break. You cut yourself a little slack.
Well, yes, absolutely. Yeah. But there's things like the radio show. What the heck did I know about doing a radio show? And those of you who are listening go, well, you know nothing about it yet either. But what did I know about doing the radio show? We talked about doing the project for a couple of years. I had the time, and I went and I committed us to it, saying, okay, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
What do you know about, what's the show called? I don't know. What's it going to be about? I don't know.
We're doing it.
And now look at us. We're 20-something episodes in.
I want to say that this is episode number 24.
So, we're...
Yeah, I think this 2015 was definitely the year for me, because I was reflecting back on it. Was the year for me where I just started. I feel like I spent the entire year tapping people's back. Like, hey, so, starting a conversation, starting relationships, pursuing relationships, doing things that I felt were necessary. And I did that the entire year. And so I feel grounded, and I feel okay with me. I feel okay with what I did. I definitely don't think I did a lot, but I spent the entire year tapping people's backs.
But it sounds like you're happy with what you did accomplish.
Yeah, I am. I'm happy with it's definitely much better than I did for 2014, because I feel like I did, nothing for 2014. But that can be a whole other conversation.
So it was a year of starting a lot of conversations. That's not like for you.
Yeah, it was a lot of building relationships that I knew that I had to build on, that I knew that were existing, and I wanted to capitalize on them, whether it was friendships, whether it was like business relationships, whether it was acquaintances, whether it was people that I just wanted to get to know.
Well, I think for me, 2015 was a year of challenges. Like, I think for the last couple of years, I've been kind of challenging myself to do things that are new to me, to learn new things, to broaden my, expertise in different areas. And I think it's been challenging. There's been moments where I just want to pull my hair out. And there's been moments that I just wanted to go home and be like, you know what, this is it. I'm going to go home, and that's it.
Okay.
But, it's been good to kind of learn and to, challenge myself and to really, see what I'm capable of that I didn't think I was capable of doing.
Well, that's good.
It sounds like we all learned a lot from ourselves this year.
And from each other, apparently.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So 2016 is coming up. And
I ain't ready. I'm not ready. No, give me one more month.
So usually, a few years ago, I stopped setting New Year's resolutions.
Really?
Yes. There's a trend that was out there for people where you adopt one word or up to 3 words.
Oh, I remember that.
Up to 3 words to help you identify what the themes of the year are going to be for you. And every year for the past several years, I publish on sandrasays.com what my 3 words are going to be. Yes.
I've never, okay.
And so, I've gone everything from like creativity and innovation or, other stuff like that. Things about...
We've had this conversation before. What were your words for 2015?
You know what? Isn't that awful that I don't remember what they are? That's why I'm telling you that this year went completely in a different direction than what I intended it to be.
One of them should have been detour.
But for the past few years, one of the things that's been guiding is trying to make sure that I'm trying to work towards my goals by picking things that are important to me and whatever. For 2016, I'm going to go back and pick 3 words that I've used in previous years. I think that they're very important. One is focus. Because one of the things that has become...
Focus. Okay, so we
No, you can't tell this story. This is not a story you're allowed to tell.
I'm definitely not. So we have a running theme with the word focus. I know Juan loves that word, and Sandra, we have a running theme with it, and it's just... It's a definite word.
Sandra.
It's very ironic that Sandra picks this word for 2016.
So the word one of my words is focus, and it's a word that I've picked previously because it's one of the areas where I have the biggest challenge is focusing on the things that are actually important and not letting myself get distracted by all of the details and not letting myself overthink things and not letting myself.
Did you realize this like at the end of 2015?
No, it's an ongoing challenge for me.
Okay.
But as a small business owner, it's become a much bigger challenge for me than it had been previously. The second word is another one that I've done previously, and the word is comfort. And mostly it's about pushing myself outside my comfort zone. About doing things that are in fact outside of what my default setting is.
I definitely like that word. I might take it from you.
That's fine. And so the intent is to do... So when we're talking about the selfies and the videos and doing more in-person presentations, which for all are for me things that are outside my normal comfort zone. I do them well, sorta, but they're not my default setting. Print is my default setting. So comfort zone, I want to push myself outside my comfort zone a little bit more.
Okay.
My third one is creativity, and that's another one I've used previously, that I want to actually go back to the roots and do things with a little bit more creativity and get back in touch with maybe the lightness and the sense of whimsy that can get lost when you're so focused on producing final product.
You're allowing yourself to expand. You're allowing yourself your mind to wander, basically.
And so, focus, comfort, and creativity. These are words that I've used previously. I'm not sure that I've done them in this particular...
order?
Well, no, together.
Okay.
I might have, but I think that for 2016, those are going to be my themes.
I like that word, comfort, and I think I'm going to take that word from you, and I keep
thinking of Southern Comfort.
That's also another way to go.
Southern Comfort. Yeah, he's talking about alcohol at this point. So, in reverse, that word, in comfort, in actually comforting myself. I have a hard time allowing myself to kind of just be present in the moment, be upset, be mad, or wanting to express feelings or wanting to... I tend to want to hold it in, but comforting myself and allowing myself to be okay with being agitated, being upset, not being okay.
As Juan said earlier, we are our worst critics.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable being out there. I'm very comfortable being outside of my comfort zone. And I keep forgetting to just forgiving myself for things that don't turn out right, forgiving myself when I don't do what I'm supposed to be doing, and being okay with it. Because when I find myself self-doubting myself or not applying myself or not doing what I think I'm supposed to be doing, I am my worst enemy. I can tear myself apart, and it becomes a challenge. And all of a sudden, 3 days later, and I'm like, why am I beating myself up over things? Like, I couldn't help this, or I couldn't help that. What was I supposed to do? So I'm going to take that word from you. Okay. And I'm going to reverse it and just self-comfort.
Well, do you normally do New Year's resolutions?
No. Well, here's the funny part. One of my New Year's resolutions is always lose weight. Yeah, that doesn't happened for the last 6-7 years. And so I need to drop that.
I stopped doing that. And so we were talking, you asked me earlier, and I looked them up. My 3 words for 2015 were balance, focus, and create.
Oh, look, there's that word focus again.
Yes, well, I'm telling you, focus is an ongoing issue for me.
Okay.
I'm just gonna deem that a Sandra word. Focus.
Sandra word. Oh, yes.
Would you say you have any word, Juan?
I don't think I have any words, and I know you don't do New Year's normally do resolutions, but this year I think the challenge for myself is to not to censor myself as much, because I think I have a tendency to overanalyze.
I am going to disagree.
I have a tendency to overanalyze when it comes to doing things that I maybe I want to do, or I want to push myself outside of my comfort zone to try different things, and I auto-censor. I'm like, no, you can't do that. No, how's this going to look, or how's that going to... And so I think the challenge for me in 2016 is to shut the voices in my head down.
And what do the voices tell you to do? It's amazing how just changing how you talk to yourself can actually impact.
Oh, and it really does, because this year, this year, 2015, I literally forced myself to get out of my head, because there were a lot of things that I was constantly like, no, you're not going to do that, or it's not okay, and I was self-talking to myself in a very, not negative way, but I was, convincing myself that I couldn't do things, and, just forcing myself to say, whether it's uncomfortable or not, you're going to do it, was really helpful.
Yes.
And so I think the more that I do that, the more that I see, hey, I can do things that I thought I couldn't do.
So our example, just because we've never done a podcast radio show, doesn't mean we can't do one.
It doesn't mean we can't self-teach ourselves to do things. It doesn't mean, and we have that, I think among all three of us, we have that bad habit of we need to plan and plan and plan and detail and plan. And I've gotten to the point where I do kind of stop you guys and we need to stop planning. We need to start doing, guys. We just need to, I don't care if this ocean has sharks.
Yeah, because my thing is I always want to say if X plus Y, then what is the outcome of that? And
yeah. So for those of you who are just tuning in, this is the Little Radio Show on hmsnetradio.org, and we're talking about New Year's resolutions and taking a look back and a look forward. 2016, it's going to be a leap year. It's going to be a presidential election year. There's all sorts of stuff that's slated to happen. Oh my goodness, Olympics.
The Olympics, that's
Copa America coming to the United States.
Copa America coming to the United States, and Houston's going to be one of the cities. It's going to host it. So here's my question. It's New Year's Eve. How are you going to be celebrating?
With my family. Juan, would you agree? Oh, why are you so confused all of a sudden?
How are you going to be celebrating New Year's Eve?
So I think we typically it's either at somebody's family's house, or we have firecrackers sometimes. Or if there's not firecrackers, there's just usually you have wine, and you you do the wine where everybody has a drink of wine at midnight.
We do that. We do the 12 grapes at midnight in my family.
We've done that before.
There's a hotel in downtown Houston called the Hyatt, and they usually have balloon drop.
Yes.
I want to do that one year.
We've never done like a New Year on our own.
No, we haven't. It's always spent with family. Like, we have to, for
like,
whatever reason.
We need to go to New York one year and just spend it there, like with Times Square.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. That's not going to be Juan. I'm not sure who you're going with, but it's not going to be me.
Live cast it and I'll watch your, and I'll pretend I'm there.
Yes.
So one of the things that I really, really adore, and actually I would love to do it someday, on my bucket list is actually to go to the Parade of Roses New Year's thing
nice.
out in
I think it's Pasadena, California.
That is on my list. And my sisters are like, why? I don't know why. I want to go and be in person at the Rose Parade, the Parade of Roses one year, and it is on my list. And it's going to happen one year.
Well, see, for me, it's Times Square. Like, I would like to be there at Times Square when the ball drops one year.
What the hell's wrong with me? All I want to do is the Hyatt in Houston downtown where the balloon dropped.
When I was a kid, we would sit there and watch Univision, and we'd watch like all the different
they
countries.
Still do that.
The Miami.
Yeah.
So they start with London, I know that for sure. And then they do New York and Miami, and then they go on to here, and then they finish off with California. By that time, we're asleep.
Yeah, and by the time it got to our time, we were kind of like falling asleep. We're like, Happy New Year. But for me, I think it's like every year is like more like, I take it more seriously every year. Like, it's like, oh, okay, it's a like
challenge,
a new beginning, a new like opportunity, a new day, a new year. So to me, it's always like more and more like I feel like it's kind of has more there's more like value to it, I guess, that I associate to it.
You feel a sense of like, it's a new year, new things, you ever like, I hate that term, that new year, new me. But it's kind of this,
Well, it's that feeling of a blank page. There's all this possibility that can happen. You're like, okay, it's a clear new marker. I have this opportunity, and it's stupid, really, because it's mental. You can start your diet any day of the year.
But the thing is, like,
no, I don't. It has to be New Year or on a Monday.
But it's like that saying, like, you plan all you want, and then life happens.
Yes, well, like I said, my 3 words. Yeah. At the end of 2015, I couldn't tell you what they were.
So, I mean, we can sit here and we can say, like, these are whatever, but you never really know what's going to happen. Like, and I guess that's part of the surprise. It's like, you never know what that year is going to bring, and you never know where you're going to be.
So you don't believe you make a mental adjustment as to like how you foresee?
Most people have completely. One of the reasons I stopped doing real resolutions was I was like, I am like most people that by April, maybe June, I've completely lost track of them. Yeah. They're just not going to happen.
Well, maybe I've like 2 weeks into January, I already forgot all about it.
So I do a mental adjustments. Like every new year, there comes something within me who is like, okay, and definitely for like even personal goals, like myself goals, things that I don't say to people. Like last year was like my focus and my goals are going to be like my anxiety and my panic attacks, and I'm going to focus in on that, and I'm going to do my best towards that, and this is what I want to do, and I've actually accomplished it. So one of my goals this year, and I expressed this openly with someone else, when I said that I was going to get on the freeway. I haven't been on the freeway for years. I was going to get on the freeway, whether it was just to get on and off. Mm-hmm. And I've actually accomplished that this year. Okay. And that was just a mental note. That was just something for myself. I knew that's something I was going to want to do. Come next year, I'm going to do like a stretch of a highway. Like a major highway. Not like, one of these little bitty town highways.
You driving?
Me driving. With me in the driver's seat.
Road trip.
So for those of you out there who are getting ready to do your New Year's celebration and who are thinking actually about doing New Year's resolutions, please, we'd love to hear what it is you committed to do for 2016, either a resolution or something you decided to learn, or whether or not you ever actually accomplished the resolution, which I would find very impressive.
Definitely. Please let us know if there is something that you want to accomplish in 2016, what it is, and let's compare notes. Let's see if that's something we can all do collectively. And yay, here's to 2016.
And definitely we want to wish everyone a very prosperous and a very great year for 2016. I hope it's a good one for everybody.
you for joining us for another episode of The Little Radio Show. We invite you to check out our iTunes channel and our Stitcher channel and to leave us a rating or a review. You can find both links at thelittleradioshow.com.